What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing? What is up? Hey, check it out, man. 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗞𝗦 update is 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗞𝗦 now. Where's 𝗟𝗡𝗡𝗞𝗦 now? Sean Diddy Combs' latest news update. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, man. Hey, y'all think about her when you go to bed and close your eyes, man. Somebody asked me, is she living out the car? I think she is actually, they on the move. They on the move, man. And sometimes they have angels that come past and let them sleep while we watch over you, so you can have a good night's sleep. Then we go back to our lives, she was saying, and that was deep. So hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let's check it out, man. Oh, that's the countdown.
Wrongdoing.
Okay, here we go.
And we're back with a message of empowerment and hope with regard to Miss Sally Carter. Most of you are familiar with her story and where she stands in this alleged trafficking network that seemed to be a key component in Diddy's business dealings and enterprise. Of course, no one is to be presumed guilty of any wrongdoing until decided by a court of law, but from what has been gathered and understood, there's a clear pattern forming across the majority of the alleged victim statements and suits. If you don't know who Allie is, she's been very vocal about the entire alleged operation, above and beyond Diddy and associates, for the last 4 years. She's named several high-profile and A-list individuals, and has described the years of abuse and suffering at the hands of those meant to protect her, until she was under enough control as a result of that trauma to be prepared to be served to elite clients. Allegedly.
Ron Jeremy, Denzel Washington, Beyonce Knowles, Ellen DeGeneres, Whoopi Goldberg, Lady Gaga, Chrissy Teigen, John Legend, Joan Rivers, Rob Saget. Do you want me to keep going?
Do you want me to keep going?
Everybody wonder why my smile is so deep. Everybody wonder why my eyes sparkle. Everybody always asks me, why you smiling when you dance? Because you don't understand the live through. It's worth it to smile. And I'm still smiling, and I'm gonna continue to smile. And majority of y'all who continue to ask me and gonna tell me that I'm pointing fingers to kiss my natural black ass and miss me with that shit. Bye. Bye.
She said Whoopi Goldberg. She did Sister Act 2 and was doing that with a lot of kids. That's deep. Wow.
And when it comes out, don't come running back. I shouldn't have to get this nitty gritty for people to wake fuck up. I shouldn't have to say something like that for you to be like, oh shit, she's probably telling the truth. It is pathetic that people gotta go here. It's pathetic that it's gonna take somebody to say it was me for somebody to understand. Everybody knew that Snoop Dogg, not again, mentioned him in December of 2020, but for somebody to understand. Everybody knew that Snoop Dogg, not again, mentioned him in December of 2020, but everybody beat the hell out of me. Screw you, that can't be true. What the hell do I know, right? And then recently it just came out again that Snoop Dogg got accused of actually trafficking children. And what did everybody do? Ooh, Snoop Dogg is at the halftime. I'm going to the halftime. But we canceled Dr. Seuss. Shout your Bible. Nobody mad. Nobody. I was able to speak with somebody that was so cocky. And I remember telling him, I know you from Look Who's Talking. That's all. And I remember everybody laughing at me because I was 15 and I'm like, the only thing that I know you from, John Travolta, is Look Who's Talking. I know there were many comedians, Kathy Griffin, Robin Williams, I was on an order for Joe Biden. I was
taken to somewhere where there were there was an orgy party. There was a contest going on. There's a certain part that has a shrine. There's a smell that you can't even flinch towards down there. You will. There's certain people that you don't talk about because you just don't. There were certain people that I seen down there, from Beyonce, Jay-Z. You don't tell on P. Diddy, but P. Diddy.
It takes a lot to break down one's mind, body, and spirit to the point of going along to get along, where the natural self-preservation defenses kick in and allow the mind to compartmentalize much of the trauma and stop resisting in order to prevent potentially more severe trauma. When these individuals are performing as ordered without causing any fuss, they are then eligible to serve the more elite and exclusive clientele. After the raids on Diddy's properties in March of 2024, witness and victim testimonies began to surface, not only corroborating 𝗟𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦's claims, but uncovering decades of horrendous emotional, physical, and sexual violence being committed by Diddy and associates, allegedly, against those either working within Diddy's sphere or looking to break into the industry, and being misled into precarious situations. Allegedly.
The home of rapper P. Diddy is being raided.
Let's get right over to CBS News Miami's 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗞𝗦 Sherman with what we know so far. 𝗟𝗓?
Lauren and Elliot, this is breaking news just into our newsroom moments ago. U.S. officials confirmed that P. Diddy's homes in L.A. and Miami are being raided by Homeland Security and other law enforcement. Our Chopper 4 over the scene. This is all due to possible sex trafficking and investigation related to that. These searches were performed as part of the ongoing investigation. Just a short time ago, they released this statement saying, quote, earlier today, Homeland Security investigators New York executed law enforcement actions as part of an ongoing investigation with the assistance from HSI Los Angeles, HSI Miami, and our law enforcement partners. We will provide further information as it becomes available. And again, this is breaking news just into our newsroom. Our CBS News Miami's Larry Seward is headed to the scene right now. He'll have a live report as soon as he gets there. Stay with us for the very latest, both on air and online. Back to you guys.
To back this all up, there's reportedly 90 terabytes of recorded footage and media that was taken in the raids and has been added to over time by additional witnesses and victims, including Rodney Jones, a producer who recorded hundreds of hours of audio and video during his time working with Diddy, that he's submitted in support of his own lawsuit.
And now to the latest on the sex trafficking investigation that led to raids on the homes of Sean Combs here in Los Angeles and in Florida. He has not been arrested or charged, though he is named in multiple assault and trafficking lawsuits. Eyewitness News reporter Sophie Flay joins us here live with more. Sophie.
Giovanna, in a 79-page lawsuit filed by a music producer who claims to have worked with and lived with Sean Combs for a period of time, alleges there were underage girls, hidden cameras, and sexual harassment at his home, all of which Combs denies.
What were federal investigators in tactical gear looking for at Sean Diddy Combs' home in Los Angeles and Miami? Homeland Security says the raids were part of a months-long federal investigation, including sex trafficking.
If he's convicted, ultimately, he'll be in prison for a very long time. One count of sex trafficking typically is 10 to 15 years in prison.
Cassandra Ventura, also known as Cassie, filed a lawsuit in November alleging Combs raped her and forced her to engage in sex trafficking. The two parties settled the suit the day after she filed.
The problem for Diddy is those...
You see that? Did y'all see that? They was waving Puffy to come over. I know she probably was like, oh, I'm going to get in trouble for this one. Watch this right here. Watch this.
In prison for a very long time.
Cassie,
one count of sex trafficking typically is 10 to 15 years in prison.
Cassandra Ventura, also known as Cassie, filed a lawsuit in November alleging Combs raped her and forced her to engage in sex trafficking. The two parties settled the suit the day after she filed.
The problem for Diddy is those allegations become public immediately.
She probably got in trouble for that
public record. So now that they're public record, and Cassie was brave enough to put her name to those allegations and not just file as a Jane Doe, well, that certainly empowers other potential victims of Diddy's conduct.
Multiple lawsuits have been filed against Combs, including one by music producer Rodney Jones. Jones alleges sex trafficking and sexual assault, also mentioning underage girls in the 79-page lawsuit. Claims made by Jones include hidden cameras in the rap mogul's home, saying, quote, Mr. Combs allegedly threatened to eat Mr. Jones's face in order to get what he wants. According to law enforcement, federal agents with Homeland Security seized computers and other electronic devices at Combs' home in Holmby Hills and Miami.
The federal authorities will look into the evidence that they've collected, and then they'll go in front of a grand jury and try to get an arrest warrant for Diddy if there's enough there.
25-year-old Brendan Paul, who was arrested on drug charges Monday, also mentioned in the lawsuit, claiming Paul carried drugs and guns for the 3-time Grammy winner. He's since posted bail.
Was he in the movies or on TV or something?
25-year-old Brendan Paul, who was arrested on drug charges Monday, also mentioned in the lawsuit, claiming Paul carried drugs and guns for the
I think he was in a couple of movies and stuff, maybe. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments, man. Was he on a sitcom or did any movie stuff or something? I don't know.
3-time Grammy winner. He's since posted bail. Combs' attorney released a statement Tuesday in response to the raid, saying in part, there was a gross overuse of military-level force as search warrants were executed at Mr. Combs' residences. This is nothing more than a witch hunt. Mr. Combs is innocent and will fight to clear his name.
And it's still unclear where Combs was at the time of those raids and where he is now. His attorneys saying that he's spoken to and cooperated with authorities.
On top of that, there are thumb drives that were floating around with what could be some of the most damning evidence that Kim Porter, Diddy's late ex, and mother of some of his children, who passed under mysterious circumstances, whom had allegedly collected and distributed to close friends and confidants in the event that her life was cut short. This culminated in what is a now confirmed memoir, Kim's Lost Words, and the evidence used to put it together has been received by the FBI. This man, 𝗟𝗡𝗞𝗏 𝗟𝗓, is cooperating with authorities and prepared to testify in court.
8 videos, 8 celebrities, 6 men and 2 women. How many of those 8 celebrities were close to being underage or potentially underage?
2 males.
2 males. And of those 8 celebrities, how many of them were intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
This is going to be all speculation. I just want to preface it by he wouldn't know if they were. Right.
Sure.
Appear to
Let
be.
me rephrase it.
Based on, yes.
Understand. Out of the 8 celebrities who were recorded having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appeared to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence of drugs?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims
They
or
victims.
were perpetrating?
Victims.
They were all 8 were victimized.
Yeah.
Meaning this was happening to them and they were inebriated.
Right. Not knowing, I guess, how much proof it was in it, what they was doing.
And of those 8, how many seemed to be potentially minors?
2 to 3, possibly 3.
Ali submitted her affidavit of truth in April of 2024, where she alleges that she was a victim and witness of a Playboy Mansion party between 2009 and 2010, where she and others who were not adults at the time were laid out on tables and offered as quote-unquote party favors. Ever since she submitted this statement, her whole life was turned upside down. Although she was already facing some backlash and harassment when she'd begun telling her story years ago, she felt even more targeted and unsafe. Her and adoptive mother Shelly have been on the move ever since.
When we first started calling on the angels and we first started stepping out on faith and trusting the angels and saying, you know what, we not trusting these organizations and these other big people that are calling us.
Amen.
Because we knew that a lot of them were in it for very nefarious reasons, as you can see. I want you to think back a year or 2 ago. Y'all tagged everyone in God's name, did you not? Let's think back. 2 years ago, in November, did you not tag everybody in God's name? I'm talking truth tellers, artists, blue check marks, actors, child actors, churches, organizations, all kind of people. Where are they? And I could bet you, I'd stake my life on it because I know I can, that anybody that contacted us, we have all the receipts for. And anybody that contacted us, that you guys contacted, and that have big check marks and we possibly did an interview with, they're nowhere to be found. Nowhere. None of them. Everybody went, how can I get views off of this? They got their views and they were out. Do you notice that? Think back. You got the names. Let's talk about them. There was some stupid shit that went down. People believed in an attorney that used us as a human shield. And I was just as disappointed as you guys were when that happened with us. I was completely disappointed because I believed him too. The ones that are standing right now, those are the ones that you might want to ask questions like, I think they cared. I think so. You can look right now and you can see, because the angels that we're sitting with in 5 days now, the angels that are on their way, some of the angels that are on this conversation that you'll be hearing from, they sat on a court case with us for 8 months. There's no way to hide shit from them at that point. They heard every situation from when we were a baby. They heard every situation from when we were in foster care. They heard situations from when we were trafficked. They heard the situations from when we were missing. They heard so much. I want to know though, where's all these trafficking advocates? Some people are putting phrases on a sign is not going to do a damn thing. When you go outside, when you mention human trafficking to the people who call you crazy, what's the first thing they say when you say human trafficking? They say, what is that? Did you know about organ harvesting? They say, what is that? Did you know about ritual abuse? They say, what is that? Have you heard about the CPS corruption stories that's going on? They'll go, no. But if you talk to social workers, what's scary is multiple social workers already know that if you try to go to them and say there's some corrupt, evil shit going on throughout the system, they'll tell you, we know. And then after they say, we know, there's not a damn thing to do about it. It's been going on for decades. It ain't gonna change.
Wow.
If you confront someone and say, I had cracks in my armor and I'm telling you my finances got hit, my relationship got hit, I feel like there's a spell or a curse over me that won't break or won't shake over my kids, over my family, over everything that I love and I own. Break it down for me like I am 5 years old and I have no sense at all on exactly how do I fight spiritual warfare. Tell this, because some survivors are not looking to get snatched up and rescued. Some survivors are just looking to be heard, seen, and acknowledged. They don't need money. There's no fundraiser needed for it. Power is just presence. Presence is power. Excuse me, I said that backwards. So a lot of you who are like, I don't believe this is real. It's real. I'll let you hear from the other real people. We're real people.
Allie was giving us fairly regular updates until a few weeks ago, when it seemed that all online activities stopped altogether, with her final messages implying the pair were in even more danger, that the threats and strange occurrences had intensified. Her TikTok account, with over 250,000 followers, was also nuked, and it's basically been radio silence ever since. Now, although this is coming as quite a concern for many, I would rather believe they're taking extreme caution and have chosen to go off the grid to ensure their safety and privacy at this time. We do know that Diddy, or someone closely associated with Diddy, had hired private investigators to track down and approach a handful of influencers to find out if they were being paid to talk about Diddy and other celebrities closely associated, and that if so, they were willing to pay to know who was paying them, and would pay even more to have them change the narrative and tone of their Diddy content.
So you guys are private investigators who have come to my private home asking about influencers? This is very uncomfortable, you guys.
I don't know why. I'll explain.
No, you're at my home.
Okay, so you don't want to talk to us then?
Have I broken some law?
Absolutely not.
And you have the thin blue. This is frightening. I think, can you guys step away from my home?
I have two quick questions for you, and if you want to be interested in it, great. If not, I'll have a nice day. We're not...
What is this? This is odd.
So...
You have to admit this is very weird.
It always is.
Wow.
Always ask the same question. I'm happy to explain to you.
What?
Very simply, we were just hired to speak to a few people that do, have a lot of followers, stuff like that, on different platforms.
What, is this about the Diddy stuff I report on?
Somewhat, yes. Not necessarily Diddy stuff, but, people are involved and just stuff like that. So basically, a very simple question is are you paid to influence that's stories like that in any direction?
No, not at all.
That's all we wanted to know. Because if the company is, they're looking into people who are...
Are you guys going to pay me for this visit? Like, this is frightening. This is extremely weird for me. I have 100,000 followers. I'm not making any money.
I'm sorry.
That's one of the reasons why we're here, and that's the question that we're asking. If someone contacts you, say, in the last 6 months and is paying you to influence in a certain way.
No.
Either one way.
Is it illegal if somebody would have?
So the answer is no.
Okay, I wish somebody would have. I'd love to be making real money off this.
Let me talk for 2 seconds. I'll explain to try to make you feel better. Very simply, if somebody was paying you,
right,
the company we work for are just asking that question.
Right.
If somebody was, they would just be willing to possibly offer you money to know who and see what's going on.
Oh, wow. Well, they're paying me $1 million. Will you guys give me $2 million? I'm joking. But seriously, this is very odd, you guys. You guys came to my house.
Yeah.
It makes me feel slightly good that maybe I'm getting some notoriety for this, but this is crazy.
So again, I'll tell you what. If it was the fact that somebody was paying you,
right,
people who were getting some negative, talk,
would be interested in
this is crazy,
that out
man.
and possibly going action either against that person,
right.
Or
Diddy was also denied bail once again, and mostly due to the fact that he was allegedly caught trying to contact witnesses and victims through covert means from the inside. So there's no telling what kind of danger he could be or obstruction he could cause if he was on the outside.
Interactive part. Anybody know about the military when you have to go to war? Battlefield, okay? 90s. I'm talking to you. Please stay with me. If you are new to this and you're like, I don't know what a 90s is. A 90s is a warrior. If you're that for the children, without any vendetta motives or childish assumptions, that's you. We are talking about children, so don't act like one. If you don't act like that, that's you. It's that simple. It's really that simple, but people don't understand simple shit because they're not used to that. They're used to things being orchestrated and drama and things like that. So nobody can ever look at something when it's serious and when you're being talked to seriously because people don't know how to stop playing sometimes, okay? So just right here with me, all right? When you are in war and you have to go through a battlefield, right? If you have your full armor, you have your gun, you have your everything that you need, you got your canteen of water, you got a flashlight, you got everything that you need to go to war, right? You get to war, and let's say your partner that you were with, somebody dies or doesn't make it. There's casualties to war. Somebody may get hurt. You are going to run out of water. You may run out of food. Your sword may get messed up. Your armor may get messed up. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? You got me? Then what has to happen is if you make it all the way to that other side of that war, and the war is not over, it doesn't just end like, oh yay, celebrate, we're done. No, it doesn't end like that, right? So when you make it to the other side, you say, hey, I need a minute to refresh my armor. I need a minute to go get food. I need a minute to find some water. I need a minute to lick my wounds. I need a minute to pick up my armor again because it's too heavy. I need to take it off for a second. I need a bath. Okay. I need to scrub some of this dirt off. I need to process the shit that I just seen happen. I need to process the casualties that I just seen happen. Whether that was a casualty to your friends, whether that was a casualty to what you're fighting for. If you lost the battle or if you won the battle, you still need to process that shit, right? So you go back to camp. Yeah? Everybody know, are you with me? Yeah? We have not been able to touch our phones, really. We have been through a lot. We've been processing. I've honestly been a little bit depressed, but I've also been I've just been processing. I've been in a lot of pain. We've been trying to figure things out. I think a lot of people have seen the 90s and they completely just counted some shit out, forgot about what we've been talking about this entire 2 years. I want you guys to take a minute because I keep saying, go back, go back, go back. and people don't understand what I'm saying because nobody wants to take that time. Some people are like, listen, I gotta go to work in the morning, and if I sit here and go through every rabbit hole that this girl is trying to explain, it's gonna take me decades to even stop asking questions, right? Some people forget that you just had a taste of our life for 2 years.
A taste.
We have been fighting this war my entire life. Some people are like, this war for me is too overwhelming. This war for me is too much. This war for me, I'm messed up. I got hit. I got hurt. I got attacked. I'm still bruised. I'm still trying to get up. This armor is too heavy to pick up again. But see, the thing that I've never had the choice of is how many times I've been told, get up. Get up.
No choice.
Get back up. You're not done yet. I was disrespectfully, I'm not even like with you right now. I was disrespectfully counting us out.
Ali has mentioned Faraday bags in some of her past streams, which are used to fully block out any signal to phones and devices to prevent any form of high-tech tracking. In one of her last posts on TikTok, she shared more legal documentation and evidence supporting her claims against not only elites, but the protective services that were cased with providing her safety and care. She was in their care when she was allegedly trafficked as a young teen, and she has reason to believe that there was corruption within the system that allowed for this to take place.
Do you hear that? Do y'all hear that? Adult Protective Service is corrupted and putting the border. I just did 𝗗𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦. I did the whole video. I split it in two. I did the whole video about the border and everything. And I'm really getting fed up with this stuff because these are people who I think should be smarter than me. And you mean to tell me that y'all don't have no type of real paperwork to claim a kid that came over the border? Oh, that's my son right there. Here's my paper. This is my paper right here. Yeah. It's been notarized. I'm her. I own that baby, that kid. This don't look real. And y'all allowing this. That's what she's saying. Our government. Man, I'm pissed off over that.
Care. She was in their care when she was allegedly trafficked as a young teen.
She was in their care.
She has reason to believe that there was corruption within the system that allowed for this to take place.
Some things in the CPS reports. And one of the Johns that I have had too many orders with. I say that I'm broken, but I know that I'm not broken beyond repair. I know that I'm loved more than I can imagine. I have a family now, thanks to y'all. So many 90s angels that have been my mom's biggest support team, and family that we never thought we would have. That family has the insurance drops that I'm going to drop unredacted. I've redacted a lot because, unfortunately, and I'm not inciting any violence, for quality assurance purposes, unfortunately, there are some people who are still alive. Even though some people believe they're dead. There are some people who are unfortunately still alive. And because of that, somebody is waiting for me to say a specific sentence to give a green light to some jails. I don't care. I really don't care, but I'm being smart about some things because my case was not a case that just had me on it. There were other minors on the case. So there's some things that are redacted. Now, I've kept things redacted because if I unredact them, there's going to be an issue, and some people don't deserve that attention. However, they do deserve some questions to be asked and answered. How the hell did this happen? Where were you? What were you doing when your child was missing? Did you know that your child was being trafficked? How many times did CPS get called? Why were they getting called? Is the hospital for criminally insane something that, if you've been there, should you really have kids? Was I missing from Child Protective Services custody for a year straight? Where the hell was everybody? And then, if I'm 30 now, where was everybody before?
So this absolutely makes her a bigger target than if she was just naming names and describing events like she had been, and as many of these other alleged victims and witnesses are now doing, whose stories also seem to support and enforce some of what Ali has claimed.
We are dealing with so much. I wish that I could break it all down, but I can't, and it would take a while. There's some big things that we're dealing with right now that we're trying to get moved around and dealt with before whatever is next, right? So, we put up those rabbit holes and like, hey, can you guys go research this? We've never asked anybody for a dime. We've never merched anything. We have been through absolute hell, dodged I don't know how many bullets. We're actually at the live event. We're thinking about doing something called How Did It Age? And I have screenshots and MP3s, audios, everything. We have everything. We've been burned so many times that we know damn well we keep everything. In this time that we've talked to people who I feel are in the same exact circles, just running around with the Patreons and the advocates and the campaign charity cases and the things that you guys have seen us deal with. So as you guys have seen that, so in this time that we have had all these situations and all these things happen, we have kept audios, MP3s, text messages, screenshots, all that, receipts, all that, okay? And you guys have seen it. A lot of you guys have seen it play out. A lot of you guys have seen us say, hey, look at this, and then this happens. A lot of you guys have seen some things that didn't age very well. I have found a screenshot of someone who was saying that the superheroes weren't real. It was something so simple as that, as saying that we were lying to the point that the superheroes weren't real. Like we had any reason to make up the fact that there were real people coming together to do the right thing.
Wow.
That's not my point. My point is it didn't age well. And we've kept everything. Now, in this time, you guys have also seen us get words. You have also seen us get pulled over 8 times. I can't say exact because I've lost some time in this time. You guys have seen that.
Take your time, baby. Take your
got
time.
New friends in this time.
Take your time.
But in this time, I've lost the time from the trauma that has happened in the last 2 years, and you guys have seen that play out from the person that hopped our fence to the police officer who was there to tell us not to press charges, to the many times that we've gotten pulled over by some Brotherhood cops. No ticket, not one ticket, not one. Let me help you. We have not received one ticket. And we've gotten pulled over in California, Nebraska, Indiana, Washington, Colorado, Utah, Indiana. Did I say Indiana? Ohio. There's a few times. There's been a lot of times. It could go on. and there was someone who said today, like, there's a few people who are like, okay, so what do you expect us to do? I don't think you guys realize that you guys are in the same trenches as us, but it just looks a little bit different. We've lost our home. I can't even. Like Missouri, thank you. See somebody. Oh Lord Jesus. Math problem. Like, you gotta get out the schematic of the math. And then start
Take your time, girl. Take your time.
OG90 right there. Ransacked in Missouri. That shit was horrible. Oh my God. It's been a lot. The thing is there's been layers and layers and patterns and tactics that have been done for decades. And everybody doesn't realize that. It's taken a while to pull that veil back for people to be like, oh, this is going on in my area. 1 out of the 598 children that are missing in Virginia right now was on Amber Alert. You're going to tell me that 1 out of 598 children was the only one kidnapped? And we talked about it? You're going to tell me that only 598 were documented? And the list goes on in every single state. There's people who are searching in Africa. They said they just gave up. The numbers are too wild. 1 is enough. But do you notice how many missing children there are? Do you hear it on your local news stations? Have you seen posters about them? But if you go into your grocery stores right now, they're going to ask you for an extra $1 for a toy drive.
Wow. Think about it.
So while there's an extra $1 for a toy drive, are we talking about the trafficked children? Is there any type of anything anywhere besides a hotline that leads to one thing, and we can follow the money and we can follow the records to see who owns it when it comes to those hotlines? The thing is, everybody is always asking my mom and I, like, who sits at the top? We don't know, just as much as you don't. There's minions everywhere. This is what we're trying to explain to you. And I'm not anybody special. I'm not your teacher. I'm not trying to be somebody to be like, this is the way it's supposed to be done, and this is this. I am a victim of this system just as much as you are, and so is my mother. Does anybody notice that we're going in these circles and everybody is hold the line? Hold what line? And for how much longer? Because why is everybody putting the responsibility on somebody else for somebody to do something, anything that anybody should be standing up to do for their own backyard? But at the same time, what's happening, and I'm thankful for every single day. I am grateful. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I am grateful. I am just saying people are tearing apart at the layers. I am so grateful at that. That's something that I've never thought that would happen. I never thought we'd be sitting here talking to you.
From what I've gathered, her primary goal was to bring more attention to the elephant in the room. She pleaded for her story to be shared and spread around by as many people as possible, to echo the call to action for any persons, especially children, still stuck in this alleged elaborate trafficking network that is being revealed one puzzle piece at a time. With more human trafficking-related arrests mounting, there will be more victim and witness statements that may be able to be cross-referenced and supporting each other's suits.
Again, this is why we say, I am so used to not having justice. Has never been something that I looked forward to because I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? I'm not. You know, with Ron Jeremy too, his assistants didn't even get hit. When I was with Ron Jeremy, just to give a little, I've already talked about this a few times, but I had to deal with Ron Jeremy in Las Vegas, and he ordered me and like 5 other girls. He had us lined up in hotel rooms to have sex with. He had like rooms, like he had a preference, almost like a menu, like he wanted this food, that food, that food. And he was late. He was hours late. He ordered special photographers to be there to photograph and video everything to put on sites, and he was late. And his assistant got there first. And his assistant was a black lady. Black lady, really bitchy, short hair, horrible wig. She came in the room barking at me right away. Like, he's almost on his way here and now you're not ready, which meant ready for code word for wet. And that wasn't necessarily the thing. Like, that's not necessarily a thing. Sometimes there's fluffers for the victims and there's fluffers for the Johns. But his assistant got there and just started bitching at me. And I was irritated. The photographer that was there that my pimp brought was irritated because he had already took pictures of me and he had to go. So it was all bullshit. And by the time that he got there, clearly he had been doing something else with someone else. The man is already disgusting. He smells the way he looks, just so we're clear.
Wow.
Like, I'm not kidding. He fucking stinks. He smells like he's been jacking off for days and hasn't washed his ass once. I'm not kidding.
if you've ever, your own bodily odor can choke you out sometimes. Like when I stink, I'll tell somebody I stink. If I can smell me, I feel like somebody else can smell me. Do you know what I'm talking about, ladies?
Yes.
Dude,
yes.
Like you just leave a workout, you just leave work and you're like, I stink.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Don't hug me because I stink. Wait till I take a shower.
Yes.
Like, it smells like he had just been fucking everything for days, and it was disgusting. And I had to deal with that. I had to, someone said just joining, who were we talking about? Ron Jeremy. I had to deal with him. And at one point you have to kind of hold your breath or black out.
Wow.
You don't have a choice. And now, and that wasn't the only time I dealt with him, but that was the worst time. And we can keep talking about that. I'm not trying to make myself even more emotional, more than I've already been in the last few hours. But it just really bothers me that it's not gonna hit its mark. All of these people always that's it. He went to jail for a little bit. That's it.
Hopefully this will all cause a major dent in the alleged global operation. Allie's done everything she can to this point. And luckily, many more people are starting to raise their voices adjacent to hers, telling their own personal stories and highlighting the greater issue at hand.
It's just a little bit overwhelming because I'm not lying. I'm not lying. And you have to be a sick person to get on the internet and tell this. And the reason why I'm finally speaking is because I never been heard. I understand you saying I need to go to a counselor, but people need to be aware. I don't want him to get on no bond. Even if I don't press charges or try to sue him, because it's not about the money.
You should be rejoicing now, honey, because guess what? He got denied. He's not getting out.
And it feels good. Justice feels good to me. Like, justice feels so good to me.
There are dozens of hours of Allie's live streams and videos that she's encouraged others to record and re-upload on her behalf. She's never asked for a dime and has never wavered from her overall message of wanting to save the children. I've provided links in the description if you'd like to dive deeper on her personal story, as well as to resources and information relating to the overall topic. Let's remain focused on what really matters here and keep our eyes wide open to the bigger picture.
The victims are from more than 25 states. The majority are from California, New York, Georgia, and Florida. And I want to focus on the ages of these victims. When we talk about the ages of the victims when the conduct occurred, it's shocking. Our youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old. We have an individual who was 14 years old. We have one who was 15. 25 of the 120 individuals who are plaintiffs in these cases were minors at the time of the acts complained of. The time frame of the acts complained of is very wide. The conduct at issue spans from the years 1991 all the way till this year, 2024. If you wonder why there are so many alleged victims, that's your answer. We're talking about more than 25 years of this type of conduct.
This is
now,
so
although
sad.
most of the victims who have stepped
sad.
forward were victimized after 2015, this has been going on for a very long time.
Human trafficking is all-inclusive, and Diddy is a small fish in the sea.
Christian little Diddy. We just out here doing what we do. You know, right now, it's a beautiful Sunday, summer day, summer night. They've been in swag summer school for the last week. They averaging all A's, but getting the swag totally right. Make sure we spend the time and nurture this legacy so they know
so sad.
really what they need to do when that baton is passed, when the torch is passed. These are the princes, when they get that crown on their head, it's expected of them.
May Allie and Shelly resurface safe and sound and rejoin us in this digital/spiritual/psychological battle between good and evil. 2024 has truly been the year of the Great Awakening, and there's definitely been more progress in this past year than there has been in the last several, as far as critical thought and overall awareness among the masses goes. I believe 2025 will bring more enlightenment and get us closer to being able to heal and right our wrongs as a society, improve the way that we discuss and approach mental health and wellness, how complex trauma is treated, and how the outlying disorders and dysfunction are managed, more regulations and oversight regarding protective services for minors, allowing alleged victims to be heard and better understood. There's a long way to go, but this is the age of information, and knowledge is power. There's plenty more to uncover, so make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the flip side.
Wow. I am speechless. I am so speechless, man. I wish that there was a way that I can get a message to her to say that we are here to help. I have room in my house. I wish there was a way I can get her a message and say, I swear I wouldn't even tell my mama you was here. I would actually be one of the people saying, oh man, we don't know where she's at. I think the last I heard she was in California, which is on the other side. I'm in Washington, D.C. area. I would try my best to help throw anybody off, and she right next door. I mean, when I say next door, I'm talking about there's a wall right here. You see the studio wall right here. That door, she's on the other side of that door, and you would get a peep out of me. I would tell you that she's in California surfing. And then what make it so bad is I start telling y'all, oh, she lying. Ain't nothing. She ain't doing nothing. She probably laughing at y'all, joking. And then I would turn the whole thing around to make sure she's safe. I would do anything to make her safe. I would do anything to make any of these victims safe. Give me a week, man. Give me 2 weeks. Well, nah, I'm sorry. I take that back. Give me a month. Give me 2 months. And we about to start doing some stuff. So hey, she don't trust strangers. Yep, and I'm a stranger, and I would check my credentials, baby. I got a clearance that I don't believe in no more. With all this mess going on, Adult Protective Services. I had to call Adult Protective Services on people. Adult Protective Service. I didn't even know that exists. Yeah. They probably protect adults better than they protect the daggone kids. Child Protective Services. She said it. And I believe her. If she said, I believe her. I believe her. I don't care what anybody say. If you go against what she's saying or anybody else that's been trafficked that's in these cases, I said, well, I know one thing. I think that they may be lying because of these drugs and this horse tranquilizer. That's all I keep thinking about. Now somebody else talking about venom and all this. Because of the horse tranquilizer, they may be misunderstanding some of their own stories, but something happened to them. Something happened to her. I'm gonna get on out of here. I'm gonna get on out of here, man, because I'm about to blow a top. I'm about to blow a fuse. I'm about to blow a fuse, man, because I don't like when people do ugly things to other people. I don't like that. Never liked it. Now, if two people agree on spanking and whipping and being hung in handcuffs and, handcuffs with the fur on it, if you agree with that stuff, that's your thing. But if somebody says no, or you need a safe word, okay, maybe if y'all need a safe word and y'all use that safe word and that word ain't safe and they keep going, that's where you draw the line. That's where I draw the line at. Yeah. This is real ugly. So I don't have any kids. And if I did and something happened to one of my kids, you best believe I'll be in jail. I would tell the judge, that's right, I did it because they did something to my son or daughter. I'm going to get on up out of here, man. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.